Hey guys, in this video I'm going to explain events. An event is some action that the user or the browser does. Many HTML elements contain event attributes. For example, let's create a button. I'll give this button an ID of myButton. For the text, let's just say button. Buttons have an onClick event attribute. OnClick. I can set this equal to the name of a function and invoke it. Let's create a function that will do something. I'll cleverly name this function do something. All we'll do is create an alert. Alert, you did something. I will set the onClick attribute equal to the name of my function, do something, then invoke it. When I click on this button, my onClick event attribute will invoke this function, do something. You did something. In place of setting event attributes directly within your HTML elements, you could do so within your JavaScript file. I would first need to select my element. Constant element equals document.getElementById. The ID was myButton. I will take this element and set the onClick event attribute equal to some function. Do something. Be sure not to invoke it. This is a callback. Save everything. Then when I click this button, we activate the onClick event attribute. So that's one event attribute, onClick. Another event attribute is onload. When the web browser loads, it does something. This time I'm going to select the body of my document. Constant element equals document.body. I will take this element and set the onload attribute equal to some function. Do something. When the body of my document loads, it activates the onload event attribute. Another option is that within the opening body tag of your HTML file, you can directly set that attribute. Do something. And this would work too. That is the onload event attribute. When an element loads, it does something. Next, we have the onchange event attribute. element.onChange equals do something. When an element has been changed, it activates the onchange event attribute. Heading to our HTML document, let's create a text box. Input ID equals myText. Get rid of this. We will select our text box. Constant element equals document.getElementById. We are selecting myText. Now, when we make changes to this text box and then leave, it activates my onchange event attribute. If used with a text box, you could format some text once you leave. Okay, this next one is going to be fun. Let's create a div tag. Div ID equals myDiv. Close it. Then heading to our CSS style sheet, let's select myDiv. We'll change the background color to light green. And the width to 100 pixels. And the height to be 100 as well. Let's save. We'll select this ID, myDiv. Constant element equals document.getElementById. The ID was myDiv. When we move our cursor over this div tag, we'll change the background color. We will take our element and use the onmouseover event attribute. Set this equal to a function. Do something. Let's change the background color. element.style.backgroundColor equals, how about red? When I hover my cursor over this div tag, it's going to change the color. When you leave an element, you can set the onmouseout event attribute. Element.onmouseout will create a function to do something else. Let's copy this, paste it, do something else. We'll change the background color to light green again. So when I enter, the color is red. When I leave, it's green. Red, green, red, green, red, green. So that is onMouseover and onMouseout. Okay, we're on the last two. OnMouseDown. Element.onmousedown equals doSomething. So when I click on this element, it activates the onMouse event attribute. By itself, it's basically no different from the onClick event attribute, but it pairs very well with the onMouseUp event attribute. OnMouseUp. When we let go of our mouse, we can perform another function, do something else. When I click and hold down, it's red. When I let go, it's green. Red, green, red, green, red, green. All right, everybody, so those are a few events. OnClick, OnLoad, OnChange, OnMouseover, OnMouseout, OnMousedown, OnMouseUp. And in the next topic, we'll look at event handlers. If you would like a copy of all this code, I'll post all of this in the comment section down below. And well, yeah, those are a few JavaScript events.